Welcome to another Ice Cream Sunday, and it is a live once again. And I am not alone this time. I am joined by my good friend, Davey Dethray. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely, Em. Yeah, I love talking Scream and hanging out with you. And seeing all these lovely people here in the chat. So I'm excited to get going.
Yeah, me too. It's always a good time when we can talk Scream, so it will be fun. Topic of today's live stream, as you can see, is the rules of the franchise, how they've changed, what we think is going to be the theme in Scream 7, etc. And obviously, it is always good to hear what you guys have to say as well. Before we get into it, I am going to just pop into the chat, see who's here, say hello. Quick one, if my microphone does disconnect, I will be connected it. I've got a bit of a dodgy wire at the moment, not too sure what's going on, so it might it might just be Davey on the screen for a couple of seconds, so just roll with it. So we have got Chester Franklin saying good afternoon, Em and Davey, and hello everyone. Hey Chester, thank you so much for joining. We have got Shay Rance saying yo, what is up Shay, thank you for popping in. King Matthew III coming in saying what's up, how you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well, Matthew. And we've got this absolute twat saying won't be long. Massive. We've got Raggedy Man 78 saying yo, thank you for joining, hope that you're doing well. We also have Kyle, aka the Flet from Another World, joining in saying, hey, Em and Davey and everyone. Thank you so much for joining, as always. We have got Shell popping in. And we have also got, I think, this idiot. Yep.
Massive tool.
Massive one. We got Oracle saying, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome in. And we also have Tori Mayers saying, hello, everyone. Welcome in. And look at that. Kyle has been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much, as always, Kyle, for your support. We've got Wrestling God saying, what up, Horror, and Davey Dethray.
What up, Wrestling God?
Thank you for joining. We have Solar Guy AJ saying, what's up, everyone? What is going on? Thank you all for joining. It's so nice to have you all here. Hope you've had a good week. Mine has been very tiring. How's your week been, Davey?
Little up, little down. It's been very busy. It started out kind of weird at the beginning of the week, but it's been really it's like that. I don't know if you're a fan of Mallrats, Em. I don't know if you're a comedy fan, but
I've never seen it.
Okay, because I like when Kevin Smith is silly and when he's not trying to teach like big time lessons and stuff. So I prefer like Mallrats and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, like the funny stuff. And there's a line that says, understanding is only reached through confrontation. So it's been it's been an interesting week, and I feel like I've just grown closer to the right people in this community, and I've been having a fun time. I've been reading for those of you guys that are like, who is this guy? I've been reading the Terrifier 3 book over on my channel, and that's been really fun. Because usually I'm like crazy energy, but I put on this like jazzy version of Jingle Bells, and it just transforms me into this like Mr. Rogers kind of character with my Christmas sweater on. And I'm reading this book that has just got some of the funniest, grossest descriptions. And we're not even into the really crazy stuff from Terrifier 3. So I've been doing that. And I've been another thing for you guys that may be new to me and what I do. I do a lot of live stuff like what Em is doing here today. A lot of bringing in the community and bringing in the chat for those discussions. But I also cover the horror movie news. And anytime I cover the Jason universe, Em, like people, that's like my thing. I wish they would like shit the bed even more than they already have. Because anytime I cover them and like rant and rave about how terrible they've been, and I'm like, I can be relatively, maybe it's a bit too much, but it does really well. So welcome to anybody that's new to this crazy experience called Davey Dethray.
Yeah, if you're not subscribed to Davey, I highly suggest it. If we could get somebody, maybe Kyle, pop in Davey's link in the chat, that would be great. I would do it, but I'm a bit lazy at the moment and I can't be asked to switch my screens over.
It's tough to do when you're hosting the event. That's why it's so great to have a good group of mods out there to remind people to like the stream. So guys, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to Horror Her if you haven't already. If you're watching this after the fact, you rock for watching a live after the fact, because live streams can just die right after, unless you're somebody big with millions of subscribers. So if you're watching after, also think about hitting the hype button and
Oh yeah,
good word of Horror Her out there, guys.
100%, and show Davey some love for sure.
Mhm.
We've also got Media Poop Shoot, great name, saying, I think going back to the beginning and discovering something that wasn't true from the get-go will be along with not getting the headshot that we have come to expect in regards to Stu. Very interesting. And
So Media Poop Shoot, that's my new buddy Joe. I met him at the Silent Night, Deadly Night screening. He was sitting in the same row, and he came up acting like he was going to sit right, like his seat was right next to mine just by happenstance. And he was like, no, I'm just joking with you, and sat at the end. And we just started talking before the previews. And I was like, yeah, I talk about horror on YouTube. And he was like, oh, I just started a channel. So he's, I think, just a couple months in. And so yeah, a really fun channel. And I think he's somewhere probably floating around 70, 75 subs right now. But it's just crazy, this world. I live in a big city, but it's really spread out. I don't know how big the area that you live in is, but like Phoenix, you can drive for like an hour and a half and still be in the same county. So it's kind of wild like that. So to bump into another horror fan, you just never know where you're going to find community and fellowship in this world. It's pretty awesome.
No, that's crazy. I mean, the UK is very, very different. You can get from the south of England up to Scotland in about 7-8 hours, so it's very small. But yeah, it's mad. I always love finding horror people to talk to, and it's lovely to know that other people have got channels. So yeah, I will definitely be checking Joe out later on. If you guys want to as well, go and show Joe some love. It's always appreciated. And we've got Stephanie Hinkle saying, hi, everybody. Can't stay long. Phone is acting crazy. Well, thank you for popping in, Stephanie. I hope you're well. You've joined at the right time because we're just about to get into it. So yeah, it's all about the rules. Obviously, they've definitely changed, I would say, throughout the 6 movies that we have had so far. Obviously, with the first one, it was more like of how to survive. Just a slasher horror movie with the never had, like, don't have sex, like never drink or do drugs, don't say I'll be right back. For me personally, I think that's my favorite set of rules within the franchise itself. And I kind of want to see them go back to just the basics. But what are you sort of feeling about, obviously, the original rules, how they have evolved throughout time? And yeah, what's your sort of space with it all?
Well, yeah, and you know, with the first movie, they have so much to draw back on because they're basically going back almost 20 years of slasherdom in that first movie, because you're going back to, I guess we can say 74 with Black Christmas and TCM. We can just start there. Not saying that they're the first slasher movies, but I think they're the ones that we think of as like, that's when slasher movies really like became a thing, and not just like, oh, they're kind of there. So it was a lot easier to pick these few rules, that we did see in a lot of those movies. So I think like the whole simple meta aspect was great. I also think Scream 2 has a really easy set of rules as well, because they're just like, well, it's the sequel, what do sequels usually do? So it was like that all kind of fell in line. I think the first 3 movies, the rules were like a lot more easy to define and confine, and then it gets a little bit different from there. Because, Scream 4, I don't really remember them talking too much about the rules other than, now we're in the era where the killer is going to like make the movie themselves. And you can't kill the gay character. They're like, they didn't really, it wasn't, I don't remember the rules being as big of a part in 4 as even when they brought them into 5 and 6. And they started talking about like the requels and the reboots and like kind of like the legacy sequel sort of rules. So I am curious to know where they're going to go with the rules in Scream 7, because slashers, slashers haven't really been updated since the legacy sequel stuff that they've already done. So, my mind goes to the legacy sequels when I think about the latest slashers. Like, yes, we've had Hard Eyes, and Terrifier is like your kind of like splatter slasher. I don't think they're going to get like really graphic in Scream 7. I don't think that's going to be the thing. Um, I think it'll be interesting to see what they take from horror and bring in. And I've got this feeling maybe they're going to like make their own set of rules for slashers moving forward, because Scream has never done that. And we're sort of in this limbo that where this Ghostface could be like, I'm making the new rules. There are like, we're throwing everything out the window and I am making the new rules for the next 5 to 10 years. These are going to be the way that slashers go. Like that, I think that would be kind of fun and refreshing if they did.
I
something
really
like
like that. I like that, like the twist of turning the tables and being like, actually, you know, now Ghostface is actually technically in charge. I quite like
Yeah.
that. I think obviously, like you said, the first 3 movies, it was very much about the rules. It was very much a set layout. And it worked really well, I think, within the first 3. The 4th one, like you said, you couldn't really. There was some, like even Sydney being like, "Don't fuck with the original." There was some that was just like, you know, but it felt almost forced to me a little bit with the rules in that aspect. And sort of in 5 and 6, I've had the same feeling. They've tried too hard to, you know, have these rules set out, and they've tried too hard to like look into everything, but they've made it a bit too complicated, and it just doesn't make sense as much as what it did. I don't know if that's because I'm not the biggest Mindy fan, and she tends to be the one who
she bugs.
puts them out. Like I loved her in 5. I thought she had like really good potential in 5. 6 kind of just ruined her a bit for me.
And I think what happened. Sorry, I don't mean to.
No,
sorry,
you're fine.
Go ahead. You finish your
No. I was literally finishing it off anyway.
The thing about Scream 5 and 6 that I think is kind of weird when you look back is that the franchise turns back into itself. And it's, you know, stab becomes such a big thing. Like, yes, it is a big thing in 4 and everything, but they don't make it seems like in 5 and 6, they're like a little bit too aware that they live in this world with this thing. And I feel, yeah, I don't know, that it just kind of gets a little bit too much wrapped up in its own thing and becomes less about the Halloweens and you know, A Nightmare on Elm Streets and all that stuff. So yeah, some of the rules, I don't even know. I think this is when Mindy's giving her rules in part 5, where she kind of like, I think throws some shade to Scream 4. And then what's her face, the one killer, she really throws some shade to Scream 4. Where she talks about like, you know, a cash grab sequel or whatever, and I'm just like, watch it. But yeah, I think that's the weird thing with Scream 5 and 6 is it's a bit more amorphous with the rules, as far as that whole requel kind of thing goes.
Yeah, I agree completely. They, like you said, they definitely did go back more into themselves. And then you mentioned they're not like looking at like Halloween, etc. There is sort of, I have seen a lot of comments being like, oh, it feels like it may be a new trilogy, a bit like Halloween. Do you think they could possibly play into the rules of the new Halloween? Like, obviously, the Halloween 2018 was supposed to be a direct sequel to the original. And in the original, Michael was just a man. In the sequel, he was this more supernatural being. Do you think that's something that they're going to play on in Scream, where they're going to try and make them think, you know, this killer's unstoppable, they're going to be more supernatural than anything, and that's where possibly the AI deepfakes or the Stu Mocker theories could possibly come in. I have been thinking it could possibly go that way.
I think you're onto something there. And I think even if it really isn't that Ghostface is supernatural, maybe it is this idea of that there is a big group of people involved, that it's like shark teeth. Like if you get rid of one, another one just like pops back up, you know, like you could kill this Ghostface, but there's 5 or 6 more that are all in on the same thing. So it could feel supernatural because now Ghostface has become a symbol like Batman, like some sort of like monolith kind of. So they could lean into it that way. They could also, if they want to do the whole DGG kind of rules, they could do you think it's about you, Sydney, and it's really not kind of little bit of a twist too, as well, you know, that it is more focused on punishing the daughter for whatever reason. We really don't know too much about, you know, it does seem like Ghostface wants to, you know, mentally torture Sydney here. But we could, that's what it looked like with the preview for David Gordon Green's 2018 Halloween. Like they didn't give anything away in the preview for 2018 that Michael is just like, he is just randomly crossing her path again. They made it look like, oh, Michael is going after Laurie. But then you watch the movie and you're like, oh no, this was all set up by somebody else for them to meet again. And Michael really doesn't care about Laurie unless she happens to, cross his sights, so to speak. So yeah, that would be pretty interesting to do something like that. I guess I wouldn't be surprised because it does have that, Kevin Williamson's direction so far and the look and feel of the film is reminiscent of 2018, at least from what we've seen in the trailer.
Yeah, and there's also the talk, well, we know that there's a sort of psychiatric hospital, pretty similar, I would have imagined to, well, not similar, but I guess in a way to what Michael was in 2018. He broke out. They could have that sort of thing, like, it could be somebody that's you already know of who's sort of locked away, I guess, but they'd obviously word it better than what I can over improvising on a live stream. But yeah, I can see them definitely starting to take inspiration from the Halloween franchise again, which I'm thinking they're going down that route.
Yeah, it is a good, like, whenever I look back on that trilogy, and I know that there's a lot of mixed feelings about it, I think history will be a lot kinder to that trilogy as time goes on, once people are able to step away and take a real fresh look. I mean, there's a lot of sequels in the Halloween franchise, and let's be honest, a lot of them are lesser if you remove nostalgia and the fact that you were like 10 years old when you saw them. Like, it's okay to revisit these things and think about them a little more rationally. But I do think the way they opened it up there with the, just the clock and the buzzing of a security door being opened, I think that's the first shot in David Gordon Green's Halloween. And it's a really nice, like, static kind of way to open. Now, Scream always likes to open on a kill. So, but I could see, so let's just imagine that Mocker House museum kind of scene, right? The boyfriend plays a prank on his girlfriend, and we find out the animatronic Ghostface is actually a real Ghostface. That Ghostface takes these people out, lights the building on fire. Boom, we get our title screen, and then we go to like a hospital kind of thing, and we're introduced to Stu, or locked up and everything. Like, it is a really nice way to like usher people into a brand new story. So I could definitely see, even if it's not at the beginning of the movie, I can definitely see that sort of Nancy Drew investigatory. Is that even a word? I don't even know.
It is to me.
Investigative kind of thing. There we go. And I like that, sort of like use Stu as, like, you had mentioned it in one of your videos, and that blew the top off my head, like, no joke. I don't know if that's an idea that you had come up with.
What's that?
Maybe you said it, like using Stu as a way to catch the Ghostface. So it's
things like, I've heard similar, and I was like, I'm going to play on it. Carry on. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just answering you because you're like, oh, I didn't know if it was you that came up with it. So
but he would be like Hannibal Lecter, kind of helping them, and that's why he's saying this is going to be fun, because he loves the idea of the hunt, of catching the Ghostface for whatever reason. Not to say that he's a good person now, but it's going to give him some sort of pleasure in some regard to find this person out, for whatever reason that is.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what actually made me think of that was, I can't remember who it was, but somebody commented on one of my things, and they're like, oh, I can really see Stu like turning his pages and like helping Sydney and Gail. And I was like, I don't want Stu to be good at all. I think it would completely ruin him. But I can, and then I thought, well, there's a psychiatric hospital. Maybe he's the person who's in there. And then when you sort of like go over and over and over trailers. And I kept on watching this, that line, I was like, that doesn't sound like AI to me. So maybe that there is something behind that Stu could be helping. And it wouldn't shock me if that's it. And I don't know, I'm kind of in the mindset that part of the rules are going to be, you're going to have like help from unexpected places, or nothing. Like, I know they always say like nothing is sort of as it seems, but maybe in this one it could be even playing more so on that. I'm rambling on now, but yeah, it's my
No,
mind
no.
just my mind's cogging. I'm like, what could they
So
possibly be doing?
yeah, I don't want Stu to come back and be a killer because I just think it's too obvious. Like these
Yeah.
movies are whodunit movies. If you bring back Stu and you make him a killer, then it's just something you can see from 1,000 miles away. I don't, I don't think that's the way to go as far as like storytelling goes. I don't think that's the way to please especially please the group of fans that are like kind of wary of
Mm,
Stu's return and have a tough time buying that he's still alive, because I've said it before, I'll just say it again. Scream is relatively grounded. As far as slasher franchises go, it feels completely grounded.
mm,
All movies take liberties and all that kind of stuff, but Scream has been, it's not like Jason, it's not like Halloween. It seems to be pretty congruent with the kind of story that it's telling and the fact that it takes place in our world. These are people that talk about movies that we watch in our real lives. So if they're bringing him back, and they're bringing him back in this way of he is an asset to catching the ghost face, then I really dig that. I think you could have a scene with, maybe Gail needs to be there. I think Gail's a bit too like, I can see Gail and Sydney going and talking to Stu. I would like it to just be Nev and Matthew in the scene,
mm,
honestly. Like, I think about how good the chemistry could be just between the two of them, and how tense and fun it could be, and just for those two performers to be able to play around, in an
mm.
interrogation room kind of setting, together, or with a glass, thing between them, or whatever it is. Like, I could see it being really playful and really fun. And who knows if they're gonna do like a cliffhanger thing, maybe at the end of the movie they find out that Stu's escaped, or whatever. I doubt they're gonna
Ooh.
like give him a hall pass so he can go help them in the real world.
Oh God, no.
That might be a little too silly. But it would be cool if he seems like friend, but maybe it's a little more gray,
Yeah, I
in the
like
end.
it. I don't want him to be the killer. I really don't.
No,
But
no.
we'll
I don't
see.
even Yeah, and I don't want him to be really involved,
No,
you
me
know,
neither.
with the bad side. I would much rather have him be, yeah, the Hannibal Lecter kind of thing here.
I mean, it's definitely probably the better way to take it, in my
Mhm.
opinion. But
Yeah.
um, we've also got Paula who's popped in to say hi. Thank you so
Hey,
much for
Paula.
joining, Paula. I think we've got a few people who've actually joined in
Yeah.
since we started. So I'm just going to quickly pop through. I'm glad to see that there are other people who are not Mindy fans.
Yeah. I don't understand how she survived that. Stomach stabbings are one of them. That's like the most fatal place to get stabbed,
Yeah,
is your soft part of the middle of your body. It's not good. Getting
it's
shot or
really
stabbed
rare.
there is very deadly. And they make it seem
Agreed.
like it's not a big deal in those last two movies, unfortunately.
The way she just starts running out of the ambulance and like, yeah, dude, that's just
Dude, her and Gail and Chad, like,
yeah,
should have all gone by
ridiculous.
now. Nothing against the characters, but if that's what you're going to write in your story, then they should all be gone for sure.
It is. I agree with that. We've got Terracut Studios, hey, coming in saying Mindy is likely going to sacrifice her life in the bar
Mhm.
scene for Chloe. It'd mirror when Dewey sacrifices his life for Tara in the hospital scene. I mean, we can hope. That sounds awful, but um,
I mean, we do have to return. It is funny because the fifth movie kind of made fun of the fourth movie for not
mm,
upping the ante, but then the two Radio Silence movies, really the only thing they did that fell in line with that was get rid of Dewey. It's so funny that they made fun of it in 5, and then in 6 everyone was like stabbed but saved.
yeah,
They
it's like
immediately went back and did what they made fun of Scream 4. At least I'm assuming that's what they're making fun of, is Scream 4, which hurts my
yeah, it
feelings.
was it was. Yeah, I love Scream 4. Scream 4 is
Me too.
great.
Me too.
We have got Cruel ZV coming in saying, hello, everyone. Been quite busy, but I'm going to be more active now. How are you, Em and Davey? Thank you for dropping in. I'm glad to see that you're back, and I hope that you're well.
Yeah, great to see you, bud. I think Cruel ZV is another David, I think, out there, right? I think is that
Yes, I think
there
so.
you go.
Yes.
Fellow Davids, we got to stick together. It's like, have you ever watched Kids in the Hall, Em?
No, I haven't.
So it's a Canadian sketch comedy show that Lauren Michaels, the same guy that does SNL, did it. And I mean, he produced it, but there's a song called "These Are the Daves I Know," and it's just this really funny song about how this guy knows a lot of guys named Dave. It's just it's totally silly.
It's a great name. My brother's dog is called Dave, so there you go. Not calling you a dog or cruel.
Sure.
Dog,
no, David means beloved, so I'll take it.
So there we go. We've got Gina popping in saying hi everyone. Don't forget to send the like button some love, please, people, please. Thank you so much, Gina. Glad to see you in. And we've got David saying got the new cat, so I've been quite taken up. Well, I hope that your new cat is doing well. I absolutely adore cats. I'm definitely a cat person.
Yeah, I'm a big time cat person. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I like dogs. They're just way too needy emotionally and physically. They are like, is everything I'm doing okay? Are you mad at me? Am I pleasing you? And cats are like, oh, you're here. Cool. I love you so much, but I'm going to go over there.
Fuck off. Now. Yeah, exactly.
Cats are just like us. I think that's what bugs people. People want a pet that's like loyal and subservient. But I kind of like that cats are a la carte like us, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you bump into your friend and sometimes they want to hug you when they say hi. And other times they just are like, hey, and they sit down. It's like, you know, it's each experience is unique and different.
It definitely is. We've got Jen popping in saying, hey all, I definitely think that Gale needs to die. I do not understand why Chad and Mindy are in this movie, but do not think they will survive. I think we're with you there, Jen.
Yeah. They had to carry something over from those other movies so there'd be some connective tissue, right? And Jenna is too popular to come back. And I think she was, personally offended by how things were handled with Melissa. But either way, I think she would have been too busy and making too much money. Hi, guys. I'll carry the stream here while the microphone gets figured out there.
I told you.
Yeah, they had... It's dodgy, which is a British word that I'm still trying to understand. I'm just checking. I know. I get it. I think I get it, right?
If you don't, you never will.
Untrustworthy, something like that. Yes.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, sketchy. We say sketchy.
Okay.
I saw this sketchy motherfucker when I was walking home the other night. That's what.
Yeah, but he's a bit dodgy. Don't go near him. He's a bit
exactly. Yeah.
Dodgy, yeah.
You should dodge the dodgy people. But yeah, Chad and Mindy, it is. You figure one of them's got to go, if not both.
Yeah,
in this
I think they're both goners, if I'm honest with you, because I don't think they're going to want to keep as much from 5 and 6 if they're not carrying on with that story. So I just think it makes more sense for them to go, basically. I did see, where was that? Bear with me. I did see a message just about. There we go. Cruel ZV has called his cat Coraline. That's freaking awesome. I love that. I'm glad that she's warming up to the house. And we do have Media Poop Shoot, aka Joe, becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Glad to see that you're showing me some love, and I will definitely be returning the love to yourself as well. I have been slacking a little bit on the members only stuff. I did do a live stream, but I haven't uploaded really since properly. So there will be more coming though, guys. So anybody who is a member, thank you very much. We've got Gina just popping out the David Ethray link there. If you're not already subscribed, definitely go and check him out. He does do some great stuff. I have actually started some messages with people's theories on the rules. So we will be coming back to those in a bit. But I just want to pop another sort of topic out there with regards to the rules. How do you think, or what would you like to see with the respect of how they deliver the rules this time?
Yeah.
And who do you want to see deliver them?
I guess it's probably going to be Mindy, huh? Like, I hope not. Like, I would love to see that one of Tatum's friends, or maybe even Tatum herself, is kind of like that. Again, I want to see something different from Scream. I think that's like the most legitimate complaint that people have, is that yes, these movies are enjoyable. The first 4, I just absolutely love those first 4 Scream movies. Say what you want about 3, I like it more every time I watch it. It just, when it was only the 3, it felt so different, and now it doesn't feel as different. But I think like the biggest, most legitimate complaint is that they are kind of samey. We
Mm,
always get that resolution at the end. We always have the rules. Sydney's safe all the time. Like, I would like to see something kind of change. And, there's that line that Tatum gives Sydney in the trailer that we've talked about before, where, she says, like, I want to be a fighter like you.
mm,
So she's a little more aware of, it seems like she's pretty aware of her mom's story. Maybe the friends have only really got like the stab stuff and maybe little bits of info from Tatum. Maybe they're the only few people like in the town that really understand the truth of the story. So if one of her friends or if Tatum herself is kind of the person talking about like the new rules of the
mm,
generation, or if it is like I had said at the beginning of the stream, if it is Ghostface kind of like, I'm making the rules now. Like
mm.
there are no rules. Like, I'm get ready because you're gonna find them out from everything I'm doing right now. So it could be Ghostface that gives the rules, which I think either one of those things would be a cool little twist. I don't need to see Mindy doing another like sitting around the TV or the fountain giving the rules. Like, I'm over the Randy family giving the rules, unless it's
Mm.
Jamie Kennedy coming back from the grave. Yeah, I'd like to see a little something different for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to see it be the same old Mindy delivering a stupid monologue. I
Hmm.
really want it to be something a little bit different. I wouldn't mind, like you said, seeing one of Sydney's daughter's friends or Sydney's daughter delivering it.
Hmm.
I'd also quite like to see a bit like in 3, where they had the video of Randy. Maybe bring a video of Dewey or something like that.
Mm,
I know he's back. People are very
yeah.
convinced it's just going to be his voice, but what if they actually did get him on video during the happenings of Scream 5 and he lays
Hmm.
out some rules saying, if it does come back to you, Sydney,
Hmm.
blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Um, I'd like
Yeah.
that because it would just be a nod back to everything.
Yeah, him in his trailer doing
Mm,
a testimonial, just saying, "Hey, if I don't make it out of this thing and this guy does come back for you," kind
mm.
of, video. I can totally see that happening.
I'd
Yes.
like that, and it could also put some closure to Gail and him as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes. Yeah, that's a good. I
I'd
got
really like
tingles.
that.
I got tingles when you said that. No joke. That could be a really good moment. That could be a really good moment for Courtney too, because
Mm,
Gail has largely kind of, I don't know, there's been times when it feels like her character changes at the end of the movie, and then there's a lot of reset with her and Dewey. And I get it. It's kind of a soap opera in a way. But after 3, you did think that there really was going to be some peace. And it just wasn't lasting. And not to say that that's not realistic. These movies try to be realistic. I would have liked to have seen them actually be happy,
mm.
after 2 and 3. So yeah, that would be really sweet. That would be like a good, like, that could be a moment where you really could earn some people, tearing up in the theater during a Scream movie, which would, wouldn't have to sacrifice the fun of the movie or anything, but you could still have like a really a moment that really resonates with the audience emotionally.
Yeah, I would love it. I think that's the way that I really would want to go about it. I don't think they'll do it because I don't know, I know Kevin Williamson's a great writer and he's got some
Mhm.
writing credits, but I just have a feeling that it's not going to go that way.
Mm,
Um, but I think it would be the probably the most nostalgic way to do it without
yeah.
being, oh, we're bringing Stu back, or oh, we're bringing Roman back, or all this. Just like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like just for fan service, it would be a nice nod to it, and something I personally would prefer to see.
And they could, like, now that I'm thinking about it, because when they come to get Dewey from the trailer to like go to, right, don't they? I've only seen Scream 5 like maybe 3 times. Don't they after, they talk to Dewey, all that stuff, but before they go to the hospital, like they go and get him, right? Like Sam goes and gets him or something, Sam and
So
Richie, or
Sam and Richie go to the trailer to try and convince him to help. He basically says no. Then he calls up Sydney, and Sydney like says, "Oh, I'm glad that they've got whoever it is has got you looking out for them." And then that kind
yeah.
of makes him just go and follow them to uh, Martha's house.
But when he goes to the
And then
hospital, sorry, I meant right before he dies, they go and get him and bring him to the hospital. Isn't that how it goes?
Sort of. So like he's outside Sheriff Judy's house, and then Sam's going to get her sister, and he
Mm,
decides to jump in the car and go to the hospital
okay.
with her.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah.
scratch that because I was gonna say you could have him making his testimonial video, and then there's like a knock on the door, and it's them getting him right before, literally an hour before he dies, kind of thing. But if that's not how it played out, so scratch that.
But that would be cool though, wouldn't it? Like it would. Or like even if he just does it, I don't know, just before Sam and Richie even get there, and then
Mhm.
you see him like putting the camera down, and you know exactly what comes after that kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
to weave it back into the previous movies, I think that would
yeah.
be kind of masterful, of Williamson to do, especially because the original Randy testimonial, that wasn't he didn't write did he write any of Scream 3? Did they take anything from, like, an outline from him? Because I know he's not, like, a writer on that one. Is that right? You're
I
you're
don't
the expert.
I don't think they did take. I mean, I'm not sure if they took anything from it. I don't think so, from what I know. If I'm wrong, and anybody knows in the comments, let us know. But I don't think they took anything from him. There it
Okay.
was. I forgot who wrote it now because it's not my
So if he I think
favorite.
Aaron Kruger or something
That's
like
it.
that, is that
That's
the
it.
person that wrote it? So I just didn't know, if they took any, because credits, sometimes somebody gets the credit for the writing because there just wasn't a big enough percentage of ideas or what,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like SAG has all those rules and the Writers Guild. But it would be cool if Kevin, so let's just assume that Kevin did not write the idea of Randy's testimonial. It would be cool if in this new movie he pays kind of homage and does a little bit of a callback to something like that and finds a way to make it his own. And it would be a cool way to tie in 3 and to tie in 5 to
Mm.
7. So I have complete faith that no matter how he works it out, that he's going to do it in a way that makes sense, because I think he's one of the best writers out there doing this kind of horror. But yeah,
Agreed.
I think it could be cool to have Dewey deliver those rules. I just want something different from the rules, and I think like maybe the reason why I'm thinking it could be Ghostface, especially if there's a big group of ghost faces, they've sort of like convened and figured out these rules. Or if it's Tatum or one of her friends, there needs to be a handing off, because
Mm.
presumably Chad and Mindy won't be going to Scream 8. So there needs to be a way to sort of hand off some of this stuff to, if this is going to be a new trilogy, to hand it off to the people that are going to carry that new trilogy, not just handing off the final girl, but other elements of the franchise as well.
Very true. We do have Kirby as well, which I'm hoping to see
Oh
in
yeah,
Scream 7, which I guess she could. I mean, I don't know if it's past her time to take on that sort of role, but
I don't think
potential.
so.
Um,
Yeah, they could always bring her back. I
I
love
love
Hayden
Kirby.
Panettiere.
Me too. She's great. She's an amazing actress.
She is
I
a
actually love her.
spitfire, man. And she is so, I know I'm going to sound like a total pig. She is just really aggressively cute. Like, oh my God. Her with her pixie hair in 4 is just like, I'm dead, dude. Like, whatever you want from me, you got it.
I don't. Do you know what? I was actually gutted they didn't do a pixie haircut for her in Scream 6.
And she still looks good. Don't get me wrong. She looks like she's had a little bit of work done, whatever.
Mm.
I'm not going to judge anyone for that. It looks like it hampers her acting ability just a touch. But I do think she's still a very, very charming performer. Absolutely.
She is, and I think Kirby is such a good role. I know she gets a lot of hate in 6. I think the writing is definitely to blame in some aspects there, but I like a lot of aspects of her in 6. It's
Mhm.
just quite unpopular opinion, but
It was a
um,
little too convenient to make her an FBI agent, I think. I think that's the weird thing about her in 6, is that it's like, what? Like, it's sort of like how in Stranger Things, I'm like, everyone's getting superpowers now? Like, aren't we kind of jumping the shark when it's just like so convenient that, like, she can still be a badass and not be an FBI agent. Like, she can still play a really big role, especially since her being an FBI agent didn't really like play into the greater plot. Like, we don't, as far as I can remember in 6, we don't find out that she knew what was going on with the homicide detective. But if that was a thing, then it would make sense. Oh, she was FBI and she knew the whole time,
yeah,
but she
it's.
needed him to reveal himself or whatever.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad choice of career for her, but like you said, it
Mhm,
wasn't utilized to its full potential.
mhm,
And if it had have been, then it probably would have worked a bit better. Um, but yeah, it's definitely an odd one in that case. It didn't. My opinion on six, anyways. Not everything sort of flowed very well,
Yeah.
but that's just my opinion. We've got Byron Weaver coming in saying hi. Thank you for joining, and I hope that you're doing well. And we also have Gory coming in saying, "What's up? Hey, Gory, how you doing? Good to see you here." We've got Eli sharing your channel again.
Hey, Eli.
I hope you're well, Eli, and thank you so much for joining. And we've also had Flet gift 10 memberships. So thank you so much. Again, you're showing far too much love for my channel, Kyle. But as always, I do appreciate it. So thank you so much. I didn't miss it. Don't worry. I did see that you had.
Are you going to read them off?
I can't see them.
I can read them off. I always pull up YouTube because the YouTube side shows you some stuff that StreamYard doesn't.
Okay.
I can do my Davey Deathray voice read off here.
I would be honored if you did. Go ahead.
All right, we got 10 new memberships for Horror. Paula Fitzhenry, I Like Scream and Ice Cream. The Hybrid Gamer 951, M Jackson 0358, Papa Goss 33, The Lord of Forbidden Decks, Good Real Hunting, Amber Duffer, Thomas Clark's 3098, and McDucky 23. Welcome to channel membership.
Davey Deathray, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the 10 new memberships of the channel. That was great. I might get you to record that for every time I get a new member. But yeah, thank you, Flat. I do always appreciate you. So thank you so much. I'm going to jump into some comments now that have been put in the chat about people's opinions on the rules of Scream. Now, I know King Matthew has actually left the chat. I did see that he was leaving, but he did leave a few comments in here. So the first was, maybe the rules in Scream 7 could also be similar to Scream 5's rules, except in 7, Mindy and Chad could be killed off to prove that they're expendable. As well, like in Scream 5, they do that with Dewey. Quite like it. I mean, I would definitely like to see more risks being taken, which includes with the rules. He also said, I'm hoping it's Dewey who gives the rules. There we go. In Scream 7, through a Dewey tape. See, I didn't actually even read that, so I'm glad that I'm not the only one wanting that kind of thing. Yeah. Since Randy gave the rules in Scream 3 after he died, and since Dewey gave the rules in Scream 5, he could do it again in 7. And then he said, one way the rules could be used is maybe the old rules don't apply anymore, like in the OG trilogy. You had to shoot Ghostface in the head to kill him. Maybe in 7 that changes. So I was going to make a video on this. I think I still am going to make it. But the whole shoot him in the head thing, that's to me, I apologize about my language in advance, but it's all bullshit. I'm just going to, I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again in case nobody knows my opinion on that. So we actually never heard anybody say shoot him in the head until Scream 3. But that was only because Roman was wearing a bulletproof vest. So it wasn't necessarily a rule. Yes, Sidney did shoot Billy and Mrs. Loomis in the head. But it's never been a set rule until Scream 5. And I think that was just basically shit writing, if I'm honest with you, because I don't really think they looked at the rules of the franchise properly. So I don't like the whole shoot him in the head thing as a rule. I don't know what your opinion is on that, but that's just my 5 pence worth.
I mean, if it's a human, it's not necessary, and these aren't zombies, so it's not necessary to destroy the brain. It just, it happened to work that way because the killer always comes back for one final scare. So I think it was just like the way to put that to bed is to shoot somebody right in the forehead. But yeah, I think that there's something about I was gonna say I mean, I think the throwing out the rules, I totally agree with that. You know, maybe they don't apply, or they apply in a different way. I think there is going to be, I don't think they're going to like parody like elevated horror, but I would not be surprised if we are, you know, whoever's giving us the new rules, if they do talk about how there's going to be a more psychological element, that horror has changed and horror has gotten more sophisticated. So even though it's not necessarily, because we're in a weird spot with slashers. There's not many new rules with slashers, but we could see that more. You know, if our inkling is correct that like Tatum gets kidnapped or something and Sydney has to go rescue her, which is kind of what it sounds like from what we see in that first trailer and hear in the first trailer, that's a little bit different, you know? So that is a little bit more of that psychological element. So I could see that kind of coming in a little bit, you know? But yeah, shoot him in the head. That's just... Yeah,
I don't
what's
like
his face? I mean, Roman was a little superhuman. I mean, let's be honest. Like
he was strong. He was strong for sure.
Yeah, because he takes that letter opener to like what is it, like right kind of in his neck? Isn't it like right collarbone, like right above the collarbone or something like that?
Yeah, and he's all right afterwards.
Yeah, he still puts up a fight, right? So yeah, I think that was just a point they wanted to make in that one movie because Randy said this is going to be like a superhuman killer. So yeah, I'm right there with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be because everyone says that for bringing Stu back. Well, he wasn't shot in the head. It's like, well, you know, people die without being shot in the head all the time.
Exactly. And also, if you're going to say that about Stu, you're saying it about half of the killers because most if half or if not most got killed in different ways than being shot in the head.
Mickey wasn't ever shot in the head.
No, Mickey wasn't shot in the head.
In the torso.
Obviously in 4 none of them were shot in the head. We had Charlie stabbed in the heart by Jill, and then Jill was shot in the heart by Sydney. 5 they were both shot in the head.
Yeah, okay.
6 only Quinn was shot in the head. So if you're saying that, you know, you have to shoot them in the head, then theoretically you're saying if you think Stu's alive, that most of the ghost killers are alive. Maybe that's the call. I don't know. But thank you, Matthew. I always appreciate your input.
The cult is going to be YouTubers. That's what the cult is going to be.
Oh my God, right? What if it's Davy Deathray and horror and the Fleck from Another World? Ooh, and what? Oh my gosh, what if Media Peep Shoot is actually the mastermind behind it all?
What's your favorite scary movie?
See, you even do the voice really well.
I'll gut you like a fish.
I can try pushing a TV on your head, and you can show that you survive it, and then
we'll do. Yeah, it'll be like that movie, that Christmas movie, Better Watch Out. We'll do the MythBusters on the TV thing and see how that works out. I'm willing to risk it. Anything.
Okay, cool. We'll do that then. I'll catch a flight later, bring a 90s TV, and we'll try it out.
There you go.
Joe is saying Stu wanted his sequel, and in Five Nights at Freddy's, he says, "I always come back." Oh, after doing a knife swipe in the movie, it felt like an Easter egg. It's not, but I wish it is. What if it is? You never know.
It's funny how the FNAF stuff has been turned into this sort of like, hey, we're getting some Scream people like in this little kind of side quest thing. It's I wish that Matthew Lillard was in the sequel a little bit more. I didn't really enjoy the sequel. It's if you don't follow the games, it just all goes over your head, and it's I called it half-baked as fuck when I walked out of the theater. Because it just seems like so incoherent if you're not like, you know, built into the lore. But man, Skeet Ulrich's performance, I will say, that movie did not deserve him because there's like this emotional weight. It was the only time in the movie where I like cared. And I'm like, dude, this guy is like bringing a very serious, grounded performance. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I've not seen the sequel, if I'm honest, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one.
Yeah, this one doesn't really up the ante, so I don't think it's worth it if you weren't a fan of the first one.
That's fair enough then. Jen is saying if shoot them in the head is not a rule, then Dewey died for nothing. I actually do think that Dewey died for nothing. And I don't think it was the most Dewey way to go.
No, and if it really was Amber, like I know people are saying, oh, it was really Stu, or you know, they're gonna try to retcon that in some way. Even so, I can't imagine like a 95-pound high school girl stabbing and picking up a grown ass man. Even with you know, all that like whatever kind of adrenaline that you would have. That like that's one of those things that like creates all sort of dissonance in my mind when I critique movies like Scream 5 and 6. I'm like, It's these things that really bug me. Radio silence. Ugh.
I mean, for me, it was like Dewey doing that. I guess in a way it felt like a Dewey thing, but in the same respect, it really didn't.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. It just felt off for me. I don't think I know Dewey's a bit silly, but I don't think he's that stupid.
Yeah. He
But
would have just walked up and just shot that. Like the whole time you're like, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head, right? And it's
yeah,
just the fact that he doesn't take it seriously or whatever. It just, it
yeah,
didn't really seem in line with the fact that this guy's lived through this experience 4 times before. Like he wouldn't
exactly
be
that.
doing some dumb first movie character kind of action.
No, it felt really off to me. So my
Mhm.
personal opinion is he did die for nothing, but that's just me. We got Wrestling God saying, "Hey Davey and Horror, I got a perfect monologue / theory of what the rules could be in Seven. So Sydney's story arc is going to be her end, her by Act 3 structure on every level, or maybe the rules of Seven is going to be a same but different principle type of approach where it could offer new perspectives with different settings with deeper goals. I like it being a bit deeper.
Mhm.
I do like the thought of it possibly being, a bit more thought out, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, a bit more personal, a bit more
Mhm.
meaty. But yeah,
Yeah.
what are you thinking on that?
I've said a couple times that I want, like in my 5 things I want from Scream 7 video, and I've
Mm.
mentioned it on some lives before, like, I want Sydney to be in the most desperate, dark, isolated situation we've ever seen her. Honestly, guys, I know she's put up with a lot in this series. I don't think we've really seen a dark night of the soul moment, unfortunately.
No.
Like, and it's bizarre to think about how much she's dealt with, and she really is one of the, I think, a top 3 final girl character. For some people, she would be the first, right? But I think she's in that conversation. However, like one of the reasons why I want to see Gail die, it's not just because I think that we're kind of samey with her character, but I do want Sydney to be completely, she's lost Dewey, she's lost all of her other friends in previous movies as well. I want to see Sydney completely cut off from anything that ties her back to Woodsboro,
Mm.
other than whoever this ghost face might be. So I want her to have no safe space that is from that original experience. So she's got her family, but she's got no one that she can go to that can relate with everything she's been through. And I want to see her brought to like the lowest of the low. I want her to be like in that Luke at the end of Empire Strikes Back kind of vibe of what is real, and like some sort of startling revelation or something that really just kind of breaks her. So if that's what we're talking about, and about a new perspective and different settings with deeper goals, I think it would be really cool, and it would kind of fall into the psychological aspect and the elevated horror kind of thing about like, I I want to break you, Sydney. Like this isn't about killing you. This is about making you wish you were dead, kind of thing.
I like it.
Which has been done in other movies, but I would like to see it brought into this story. I just, man, I really want to see her. I think Nev can pull it off. I think she's a fantastic performer, and I want to see her do something that she has not been able to do yet in a Scream film.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see her get to that point where she's so desperate that she will literally do anything
Mhm.
to save her family or whatever, or she's in that mindset where she literally feels like everything's over, because we've never seen her be actually at the point where fuck, this is it. We've seen her
Mhm.
fight back, which I really like about Sydney. We've seen
Yeah.
her be clever and, be very observant. But I want to see now that she's got this family, now she's got daughters to worry about. I want to see her get to that point where she's thinking, what can I do? Like, I don't know what way to go next.
Mhm.
I think, like you said, taking Gail out of the situation, I think that would be great. I love Gail to bits, but I do think it's her time.
Yeah.
And I think that seeing that sort of seeing her and Sydney get very close in this movie, even if it's in 8 where they take Gail away,
Mm.
that would be okay, I guess. But seeing them get really close and then having that ripped away from Sydney, like just like ripping off a bandage again.
Yeah.
Um, that's the kind of thing I want to see. I would really want to see that sort of vulnerability to Sydney that we've not ever seen, which was teased, but
Mhm.
after seeing the trailer, I'm not sure that is. I mean, you can only take so much from a trailer, but I'm not too sure she
Yeah.
is the most vulnerable we're ever going to see her, like they said.
From what we've seen, no, that's not the indication. It is something I want, but I think maybe the most vulnerable she's been, honestly, is in the second film. You
Mm,
know, when she's playing the character in the play, and it's the character reflects like what her experience has been in the last couple of years of her life, and I think that's the most vulnerable she's been, honestly. You know, and so I would like to see, yeah, and especially if they do a 2-act story, if we get a cliffhanger, I want her like completely broken. And so I want, you know, in between movies for all of us to wonder how she's going to get it back, who else is out there,
mhm.
all that postulating and theorizing that we can do. Like I want them to leave us with something, you know, like you like to say, meaty. You know, like, give us something to chew on. Give us some fat to
Yeah.
chew on in between movies. Like, you know, make people like one of my buddies here in the space, Frank Riker from Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast, not a fan of Scream. He thinks the Scream franchise sucks. Like, he's very
Mm,
open about it, but he hopped in a stream yesterday and I was like, "Frank, is there anything like is there anything they could do in this new Scream movie that would make you be like, okay, they finally did it?" And he was like, I just want them to do something different, like something that they haven't done before. And I that's why I say I think it's a legitimate criticism of the franchise is it's very consistent, maybe a little bit too much. You know, let's shake some things up and let's bring in some of the doubters.
mm,
Let's create a whole new wave of fans, and then let's also bring people like you and I am that you know, I was in just had started high school when these movies started coming out, and you were, you know, you were a kid, but you grew up with these. We both kind of
mm.
grew up with these in different ways. You know, bring us back as well, and have this be a whole new resurgence for the franchise. But let's break Sydney. I don't want to see her like Laurie Strode Halloween 2018 or anything. I don't need her to be Sarah Connor. But I would like to see her be like emotionally fragile by towards the end. I don't want her to, you
Yes,
know, of course it doesn't look like she's going to be that character throughout. I want to see her get there. And I think that would be
mm.
a really interesting thing to do here.
I'd like that. I definitely think it's needed. Um,
Oh
Kyle
my
has gifted
gosh,
5
Kyle.
further memberships. Thank you so much, Kyle. Honestly, you don't really, you know, I never expect it, but thank you very much. If you're not already following Kyle's channel, he is nearly on 1,000. So if you're not already subscribed, I highly suggest going over there. He is my YouTube partner in crime. We have done a lot of videos together and will continue to do so. I'm just checking what he's currently on. He's on 989 subscribers, so very,
So
very
close.
close.
Yes.
So definitely go and give his channel a watch. If somebody could pop his link into the chat, that would be great. Go and give him a watch, and if you like what you see, definitely subscribe. He's a great guy as well. But thank you so much for the 5 memberships, Kyle. I
Oh my
really do
gosh. And
appreciate that.
Gina gifted 5 as well.
What?
Here, while
Gina
you're
gifting 5. Flippin' heck.
I'll do the reading. So the 5 new channel memberships for Horror Her gifted by Kyle Curtis from the Flet from Another World, Adrian Phillips, the Wilburn 6515, Adventures with Nubs, Miss Tiffany Chanel, and Billy Loomis Scream. Thank you so much, Kyle Curtis from the Flet from Another World. And then gifted from my chunky Geordie, as I like to say, Tales from the Shelf. That's a good buddy of mine right there. And are you Cody, Stella G 9124, Luisa Tiago 974, Rebecca C 256, and oh, that's just it. That's 5 right there. I can't count, but I can talk. I'm Davey Deathray.
Thank you so much, Gina. Thank you so much, Kyle. I honestly really do appreciate you all. And as I said, it is never expected, but it's always greatly appreciated. So thank you so much.
I love it. I love it.
We also have Erica popping in the chat. Hey, Erica. Hope that you are well. Erica
Erica's
is a
amazing.
great mod for Davey, and she's a lovely person.
Mhm.
We've got I Like Scream and Ice Cream coming in. How's it going? Thank you for joining. I'm just seeing who else we've got. There we go. We've got Nightmare Files popping in saying, hey, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Hope that you are doing well. We've got Adventures with Nub saying, hey, thanks to whoever gave me a free membership.
Love it.
I'm just going to pop some links that are being shared.
That's a great channel right there, Nightmare Files, guys. Check them out.
Amazing, honestly, amazing. I've been watching a lot of his content. Phenomenal. Oh, we've got Good Real Hunting saying, hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey there, Brett.
I'm just making sure I am caught up with everybody before I carry on rambling on.
Guys, Good Real Hunting, especially if you like live streams, like their stuff is really fun. They've got really great chemistry. It's really fun loving. It's really chill. They do a lot of like brackets and rankings and a lot of interaction with the audience. It's a really sweet community. I'll say this. I don't know if I've said this on your channel, and I know I've taken up enough time not talking about Scream, but I learned how to interact with the audience from watching Good Real Hunting. That's what gave me that's what made me be like, I got like what these guys do. That's the thing that I want to take from what they do, is that community and sharing the space with the audience. To me, it's so important because, you know, without the audience, it's just me talking at a computer. So I learned that from those guys. And Brett is so sweet. When I reached 2,000 subs, he sent me a card to congratulate me, and he sent me a bound. He had like made put together a screenplay of the original Evil Dead, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So the next time I watch the movie, I get to thumb through the screenplay, which is, I just thought, such a sweet, thoughtful gift.
Definitely. I've watched quite a few of their videos and agree with everything you said, to be honest with you. There's so many great content creators on here, so many good channels that you just see pop into your chats, that it's so nice to see a whole community gathering together. I always really love it. Adventures with Nubs says, I do paranormal content.
Oh, cool.
Don't know if anybody is actually into the paranormal, but I really am. I'm a massive believer. I have, going out a bit off Scream at the moment, but I have seen and witnessed things that couldn't even explain. And people pretty much think I'm an absolute nutter, but still, I love a bit of that.
So I've always been one of those people where I'm like, oh, I wish I were special enough to like see a ghost. And I shit you not, a couple weeks ago, I had an experience like one that I've never had before, and I didn't quite know what to think of it because I had just fallen asleep here. And I had a dream that like my brother came into the room and said something to me. And I knew that part was a dream, but after he had closed the door, the wall that's like right behind my head, the wall started shaking. And this was like, felt like it was real life shaking. There wasn't an earthquake or anything, but the wall shook. And then I felt something go from my head down my body, and it sent like this charge through me, like this staticky charge that flowed through my body. And I woke up in a start, and I've never, like, I've had, you know, all sorts of crazy dreams and all that kind of stuff. I've never had anything like that. And I looked around the room like scared as hell that I was going to see something, because the wall shaking and what I heard and what I felt so real that I was like, fuck, was that some sort of spirit? It was not, it was gnarly. It was, yeah, very strange.
No, I love stuff like
says ooh. Hopefully more touching is in my future. I'm lonely. Okay.
She did say not in the weird way, to clarify.
Damn
David
it.
just has to make it all weird.
But can't it be in the weird way?
You know, I love a bit of
weirdness. Nutter is the most Brit. It is very British, yeah. An absolute nutter.
Absolute nutter. Like it is definitely a British saying, but I absolutely love it. Sticking to the paranormal, Gina is saying, I have a ghost boy. I wake up to find him watching me sleep. And the other day, one of my bedroom windows was wide open as a friend just closed from the outside and it wasn't locked. Oh, creepy. But no, you
guys have got to have a lot of ghosts out there in England. It's got to be a mess of ghosts, right?
Yeah, like there's a lot of haunted history here. So many places that because The village I grew up in as a kid,
That dodgy cord, that dodgy cord, guys.
it
There she
dodgy.
is. She's back.
It is dodgy though, dude. But yeah, the village I grew up in as a child dates back to the Doomsday Book, so it had a lot of history. There's a lot of ghost sightings around. The house I grew up in was very, very haunted. But yeah, I do massively. I'll do. Do you know what? I'm going to do a stream one day, just talking about true horror and creepy ghost things, and see if
There you
anybody
go.
anybody wants to listen to it. Oh gosh, Eric is saying, I lived in a haunted place once. My son saw someone sitting at the end of his bed. She had long dark hair and was in a nightgown. I worked nights, so it wasn't me. He couldn't see her
Oh my
face.
God.
I promise you that wasn't me either.
That sounds so scary.
Horror with that voice. Can you read a quick story during the stream? I mean, we've got about 15 minutes left. I don't know what I could read.
I got that
but,
Terrifier book. I can hold it up and you can read it.
My eyes are so shit. I'm not going to lie to you. Let me find a quick horror story on a.
There we go.
2-minute horror story.
I had people jumping in my reading stream the other day. This one girl, Allie girl, she was like, hey, can you start a channel and read different kinds of books with like the sly kind of face? And I'm like, oh my goodness, Allie, of course. Pay me some money and I'll read whatever dirty smut you want me to. I'll give you a call and I'll just read the most disgusting things to you.
Okay, so I found a very quick story just for Nightmare Files here, and it's called Who's in My Bed? Now I've just literally found this off of Google, so yeah, okay, I have to do it as if I'm recording though. Okay, that's fine. Live audience, that's fine. Bear with me one sec. So it's called Who's in My Bed? Let me put my best AI voice on. A father went to say goodnight to his 7-year-old son, very well knowing that if he didn't see his son, he would sorry, what? That doesn't make sense. I'll try and reword this. Bear with me. Okay. A father went to say goodnight to his 7-year-old son, very well knowing that if he didn't, his son would have trouble sleeping. It was a nightly routine between them. He entered the dimly lit room where his son waited under his blanket. With the first glance, the father could tell there was something unusual about his son tonight, but couldn't put his finger on it. He looked the same, but had a grin that drew from ear to ear. You okay, buddy? The father asked. The son nodded, still with the grin, before saying, Daddy, check for monsters under my bed. The father chuckled a bit before getting on his knees to check, only to satisfy his son. There, under the bed, pale and afraid, was his son. His real son. He whispered, Daddy, there's someone on my bed. I don't know how shit or good that was, but there we go. A nice little story for you all.
Yeah, tingles all over from me. Your voice, when sometimes it's just like, it takes me away. It's great.
Thank you. I appreciate
Nothing weird about it, I promise.
And I do agree that children are scary. I don't like children very much. I'm not a witch or anything, but it's the snotty noses, I think, that do it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Jen has given a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. And she said, my biggest problem with them using AI for character voices and such is that was one of the biggest issues in both the writers and actors strikes a few years ago. Very good point. And I do agree that it would be very cheap. I think it's a cop out to do that, if I'm only being honest. But
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, it's just one thing that actors have to consider, moving forward as far as their contracts go, and signing away any sort of likeness for your looks and your voice. Crispin Glover went through that whole thing with Back to the Future. That was a huge one, and that was in like 1989. He sued them because they replaced him with Matthew Modine in Back to the Future 2, but they still used his image from the first movie.
Yeah, that was harsh. That was harsh.
So he was on the forefront of that before it was even conceived that people would do what they're doing now. So that's just all one of those things, just like the technology evolves, like contracts and performers protecting their rights, whatever
Mhm.
that means, they've got that stuff needs to be updated as well. So I'm right there with you, Jen. It's like, as long as there's a way that they can get paid or their estate can get paid if they've passed, then that's different, because that would ultimately mean that the person would have to like sign off on it essentially. But yeah, just to take them willy-nilly, no good.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Jen, thank you again for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it. All the love tonight. It's just been great. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Nightmare Files saying I know a good voice when I hear one. Thank you. I
I'm
hope you were okay with that.
I'm just hurt that Nightmare Files doesn't like my voice. What do I gotta do?
Everybody likes your voice, Davey.
But
I
I
think
need
you
to hear it. I need validation.
I'm just reading through what people are saying. Bear with me.
Mhm. Bear with me is the phrase of the stream.
It is indeed.
Take a drink every time M says dodgy or bear with me.
That strike is what caused Welcome to Derry to have a year-long break between filming episode 3 and 4, which is why the kids look much older after episode 3. That would make sense.
I didn't even notice. I mean, usually I didn't notice that, but man, the show really did pick up after episode 3. I'll say that was the worst episode.
I've not enjoyed any of it. I really haven't.
Episode 7 was like watching a movie. It was some of the best TV I've ever seen. It's right up there with those finale episodes of Stranger Things, I'd say.
The only thing that was sort of good is that the kid died and it wasn't by the hands of Pennywise. That was interesting. I don't know. I haven't been able to get into it. And I think Madeline Stowe is such a good actress. And I just feel like the writing for her part has just been a bit like, oh.
She plays Mrs. Kirsch. Is that
her?
Okay.
I'm just like, oh, like she's so good.
Are you all caught up?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in that show. So every character is it's like a peppering of the characters in every episode, pretty much. They haven't really been able to focus too much on one character.
No, I think that's what spoils it a little bit, and for me. But
that's one of the issues. That's definitely an issue of writing television. I think it is tough to juggle all of that. But at the same time, Chris Chalk, who plays Dick Halloran, he's been able to squeeze so much juice out of that character, and it's not like they're necessarily giving him that much more than other characters. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's making me feel better about the Crystal Lake show because Brad Caleb Kane was a co-showrunner on Welcome to Derry, and he's running the show on Crystal Lake. So I'm like, well, they really capture that era, and they are able to honor but expand on the lore in Welcome to Derry. And I'm like, if they can do that with Crystal Lake, I think we could have something there. So
I'm hoping that they can do a good job with Crystal Lake, because it is one that I'm very eager to see how they go about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good reset for Friday the 13th. And I think Pamela deserves her due. I think she's really important to that franchise. And I know we're way off Scream now, but I'll loop it back into Scream by saying this. The whole Mrs. Loomis thing is definitely, there's some, connective tissue there. Her getting revenge for her losing her son. It's a different setup and everything. But it's a shame when you think about it that Mrs. Loomis has just as much, if not more, lore and backstory and time on screen than Mrs. Voorhees, so it'll be cool to see that. I want to feel for Pamela and I want to relate with her. So I'm hoping that's what they give us in Crystal Lake.
I'm with you on that. I am with you. And there you go. Nightmare Files says you have a good voice also, Davey. Seriously.
Oh, thank you.
So there you go. You got the validation you need.
I do need all the validation. It's so terrible. It's completely shameless and shameful. So it's odd that you can be both of those things at the same time, but it's totally possible.
But yeah, so have you got any sort of last thoughts, last words on the rules of anything, what you want to see happen with it, or where you want it to go?
Yeah, I really want them. I feel like we're in an era, I'll just kind of say it again, where I want I kind of want this movie to make the rules for the franchise moving forward. I think that's a good way, in the spirit of shaking things up and doing things different. And instead of just relying on the trends that have come before it, I think it would be really cool for Scream moving forward to be the trendsetter. You can still be meta while being trend setting, and yeah, to bring in some of those non-slasher horror elements, the psychological and all that kind of stuff. So it seems like that's where we might be leaning. Of course, we don't know yet, but yeah, that's what I want to see, is just something a bit different than what we've had before.
I'm with you. Kind of take it back to the start. Like you said, be that trendsetter that everybody sort of copies, which is what the original did. It had so much influence on other movies. That's the kind of thing I want to see from the franchise, rather than it sort of blending into other tropes and other movies, which is not really what Scream is about.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like you have to ask yourself. I know that Wes didn't write these movies, but he was like such a big part of, the feel and like the direction that they went in. I mean, literally, but figuratively as well. And it's sort of like, what would Wes want to see? Like, we need to think from that perspective. And I think Kevin is a guy that would probably know, if Wes were still here, what would he do with this franchise? Because I think Scream 4 kind of reinvented things and reinvigorated things a little bit. And so I think Wes would be like, well, let's not do the same thing. Like, let's break the mold again. That's what Wes was so good at doing, particularly in horror. I think is kind of being a trendsetter and trying to walk on some territory that might be a little familiar in a sense, but find a new path in the same in the same playground, so to speak. So I think that's what we got to do, is what would Wes do, and follow that compass.
Yeah, I'm with you completely on that one. We've got a lot of people saying great stream. It has been a lot of fun, so thank you
Yes,
for
always a
joining.
pleasure.
I hope that you join me again sometime soon, and we'll definitely be talking more Scream, more horror in general. But until then, what do you have coming up that you want to tell everybody about?
So, welcome to Derry. I've been doing watch parties over on my channel. They are simulcast over on the Horror Show channel as well. So my buddy Cecil Laird has been joining me. Hopefully our guy Fuego will be joining us as well. He is a Stephen King hound. He reads all the books. He knows all the lore, and he's such a great resource as we go through this series. And he's really been enjoying the way that they've done things a little bit differently, without negating the stuff that has come before it. So those streams have been really fun. We go live, we watch the episode as it's live. Of course, we can't show it on the screen, but it's going to be the finale, and episode 7 was like a wild party in the chat. So join us for that. After the episode, we film, or we shoot a review that's like a full spoilery kind of review, and we put those out on the Horror Show channel. So that's what we're doing here. Recently I am currently reading Terrifier 3 on my channel, the novelization. And on Wednesday, I've got my buddy Lido Velasco, who is a composer, a famous cosplayer. If you've ever seen topless Michael Myers with the surfboard, that's our guy Lido. He's also an actor that's he played the villain in a Christmas horror movie called And All Through the House, or maybe it's just All Through the House, that's on Tubi that you can check out. And he's going to come on the show, or come on the channel Wednesday night for Late Night with the Davey. We're going to talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street, because he is a massive Fred head, and I'm really lukewarm on Freddy. And I think the lore's really messy and just completely spotty all throughout the franchise. Even the good movies, it's kind of all over the place. So we're going to see if some of that enthusiasm and passion can rub off on me. And we're going to have a nice chat about all things A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Sounds good. He's a great guy as well. I've run to him in your chats quite a few times, and he's lovely. Davey does also have a Discord for anybody who is over 18 and well behaved. So if you are a Discord user and you are interested, he does have a Discord as well. If somebody could pop that in the chat, just a link to it, that would be great.
I'll pop a link in there, because I think
perfect.
I think I'm a mod on
you are.
There we go. I'll just go ahead and paste that. There we go.
Perfect.
It's really fun over there. We watch a lot of movies and talk a lot of fun spirited shit to each other. So if you can't handle good natured ribbing and giving people a hard time out of love, then maybe it's not your place. But if you can get down with that, then like you can get down with us. So
Yeah, and just behave.
yeah.
But yeah, so there we go. That's Davey Death Ray for you. Thank you guys for tuning in. For me, I do have a few things under my sleeve. I've been very quiet this week. I was trying to upload, but I had a 6-day work week this week. And today is my only day off. So I haven't really done very much. But I have got a new external hard drive, which came today. So I'm very excited about that, because my other one is absolute shit and it doesn't do very much that I want it to. So I can actually do my documentaries with this one now. So yeah, that's it for me. So I'm not going to overpromise anything, because I have promised things before and not been able to deliver due to whatever. But I will be uploading not just Scream stuff, because my channel, although I have been uploading a lot of Scream content recently, it isn't dedicated to Scream. And I know there's a lot of people who are subscribed to me that either don't like Scream or they want to see other stuff, and that is coming. So bear with me. I will be back to my normal content soon. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining. Thank you, Davey. It's always a pleasure. And we will see you guys very soon. Have a good week and take care.
Take care, guys.